Hey, what's up guys? Sweetheart Salire Week, Warrior of Light collaboration, Warmech Vision card, lots of updates to the game including Vision card hard quest, which we've been waiting for a long time for free-to-play players. A lot of things to talk about, a lot of things we really need to focus on as free-to-play, which we'll talk about in this video. So we'll go over all of the new summon banners, including a UR guaranteed every single day. We'll go over the new shops. We're going to go over the events and what you should be looking at farming over the next couple of weeks. So much to talk about in this video. If you guys like the video, you know what to do. Let's get it. First thing that we mention, as we mention in all of these videos, go to your Chocobo Expedition. We have a unique expedition, which is Matoya's Cave for the Final Fantasy 1 collaboration. Come in here, set this, you're going to get a lot of extra Warrior of Light shards over the next 4 weeks. If you don't have Warrior of Light, you don't get Sweetheart Salire. Mashery is going to still get the 1.3 times bonus. On the homepage here, before we get into the summon banners in the shop, challenge boards, these are becoming pretty standard by now, so make sure that if you do get any of these units, you can fill out these challenge boards in order to get all of the free shards and all the rainbow spheres. They have one for Sweetheart Salire, they have one for Warrior of Light, and then they also have one for the Death Machine Vision card. We have an MR plus guaranteed every single day. This is that just like these have always been, where you can buy those tickets for paid Visual, $1 a piece to fill up this gauge, get a guaranteed UR. I will mention this again for people who are super light spenders. This is the best, economically speaking, it's the best way to get URs. It's going to be 120 or 180 depending if you pull an UR during this gauge. Paid Visual for a guaranteed UR. The 10 times summons are 2,000 for 10 URs. So technically speaking, these are pretty good deal if you buy a couple of those tickets in the shop and max out this gauge for a free UR, but you don't have to do that. We are going to get a UR guaranteed free 10 times summon every single day. Yes, you can get the Warmech Vision card. Yes, you can get Warrior of Light on this. Super cool. This banner is why I would probably wait until the end of the event to see if you can pull these units on the free banners, or anyway, wait until this banner goes away. This collaboration is around, as you can see, for 27 days. Guys, you have plenty of time. No need to hurry the Death Machine Vision card or Warrior of Light. Go through all the free pulls. If you pull them, then you can decide whether you're going for the shards or not. If you don't pull them, then you can go forward and pull on the banners that we're going to talk about in a second. You have the reissue collaborative summon, so this is going to have a boost in drop rates for both Warrior of Light, I believe, and Death Machine. Yes, so Warrior of Light's guarantee or drop rate also is increased in that guarantee slot when you fill pity gauge. That's pretty cool. Something else we will mention, as they've been doing with all of these banners in global for a while, you get these bonus Final Fantasy 1 reissue summon medals. 2,000 of these will get you Warrior of Light, so there is that pity system involved as well. The most Visual you're going to spend is 40,000 Visual chasing Warrior of Light. I know there were a lot of people who pulled on the original Final Fantasy, spent 40, 50, 60, 70,000 and didn't get Warrior of Light, so to see that pity probably pains them a little bit, but you still have a guaranteed drop rate on this one. Okay, Death Machine. We talked about Death Machine in our free-to-play planning guide. I think this is one of the best Vision cards in the game because of that AoE resistance of 20 on it. It's not just a fire card. This is a fantastic card, all-purpose card, can fit in a lot of different teams. I think the only other card that has AoE resistance would be Winter Holiday Party, I think. So I think this card is a really good idea for free-to-play accounts, for light spenders, whales, everybody. I think this is a really good card. Everyone should be strongly considering this card just because of how good it is for all of the future content that will come up against in War of the Visions. Before I move off this banner, one more thing I did want to mention is that on this guaranteed step up, you do get the 500 reissue medals. So you get 100 medals on each step. So you do get that bonus towards Warrior of Light if you decide to go for the Warmech Vision card as well. All right, moving on, Sweetheart Salire. I didn't think she would come to global this soon, but she's here. And so what this means is we got to talk about her unit a little bit. And what that means is bonus planning guide. Okay, so free to play, should you go for Sweetheart Salire? Well, is she going to be a good unit? Yes, she will be a really good unit. She's going to be a strong magic attacker, a lot like Garvel. That's the comparison everybody seems to be making. She has the advantage of that Time Mage sub-job, which Garvel doesn't have, but Garvel also has the Red Mage sub-job where he can do some curing and also have that jamming thrust ability. But very comparable units. For the sake of argument, you're going to get about the same thing that you're going to get from Garvel. Now, is she a good unit? Yes. Will she be meta defining? No, probably not. She's not going to be so good like these units like Black Witch Helena, Yuna, King Mont. She's not going to be in that tier of units. She still will be a very good unit, but you will probably see a ton of Sweetheart Salires like in the next month, maybe month and a half, but she'll probably be pretty rare after that, except in pure ice teams. Now, should you actually go for her as free to play? Ice is a really tough element for free to play. Most of the best units are all limited or premium units. So Agrius, Gilgamesh, Oron, Rosa, Frievia. I'm probably missing some in there too. So most of these units, ice is a tough element for free to play. So Sweetheart Salire probably not going to do too much for your account in terms of mono ice. So most free to play, probably not. The second point would be that she's not really what ice needs. Ice already has a magic attacker in Medina who's okay. Sweetheart Salire is a much better unit than Medina, in my opinion. But she doesn't really round out an ice composition unless you have Rosa or Frievia with that support role. So if you have like Oron or Gilgamesh and you pair Salire with one of those two and then put like Rosa or Yuna, even like a support unit behind them, that would be a pretty solid team. For mixed element, she's not going to be significantly better than Garvel. She's not going to be or probably isn't better than Black Witch Helena. So if you went for either of those two units, I would say she's just a no-go. Pass on her for now and build her in the future, especially since she's not limited. So ultimately, the bottom line is that if you don't have Helena, you don't have Garvel, you have a strong ice front line, so like Oron or Gilgamesh, and you have a strong support unit to go with it, Rosa, Frievia, Yuna. That's like the optimal account for Salire. I personally have Oron and Gilgamesh 120 on my phone account, my free-to-play account, and I'm not going for Salire because I put a lot of Visual into getting Black Witch Helena shards. So I think because she's non-limited, you don't have to freak out about her. The last point that I will make, Gumi has a super strong habit of springing a unit like this on us and then selling us the counter a couple weeks later. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you haven't watched the planning guides, you know who has High Spirit, Ice Resistance, and Ice Killer all in the kit? Swimsuit Ketone. I'm just throwing that one out there. For me, this all but confirms that we'll get Swimsuit Ketone in the coming weeks because she will be a pretty strong counter to Sweetheart Salire. Since King Mont is a counter, but he's not really that strong, Swimsuit Ketone's kit pretty much built to defeat Sweetheart Salire, so look out for that one. So all of that said, if you are deciding to go for Sweetheart Salire, you probably aren't going to touch this. You're going to go through the 9-step up first, and then you're going to come back and you're going to do this banner if you don't get her. The 9-step up, I think this is a pretty standard one. This isn't like the Luelle one where they guarantee her on the last step. Where they guarantee her on the last step, so you have the 40 guaranteed shards, free pull, 40 shards, and the 80 shards here. So no guaranteed unit at the end of this, but you still do have a pretty good chance usually of pulling these step ups of getting the unit. If you don't, you can always go back to that other banner. Remember guys, there is always the option to just pull on this first step for the Rainbow Broadstone and then pull on this for these 300 Awakening Prisms and the 40 shards. Get this free pull, and that's 4,000 Visual in if you don't happen to get her, and you always have a chance of getting her. So I kind of like that strategy for free to play, to pull up to this free pull right at the beginning if you're looking at that unit. Other than that, there's not a whole lot in here. There's a couple of things for light spenders. I hate these 6,000 paid Visual for a chance at the major units, so my thoughts haven't changed on this. I would not do this for Warrior of Light. I would not do this for Valentine's Salire either, especially considering everybody has Medina, and then Victoria is a great unit, but she's not EX right now and everything. The thought of doing these banners for 6,000 paid Visual and not getting the unit you want kind of pains me a little bit. So no, I wouldn't touch this. This is 2000 paid Visual. You do get a Blossom of Paradise included in this as well with the UR summons. I love these. So for paying players, 2000 paid for what you're getting here. This is fantastic. And then we have the Gil banners for both Warrior of Light and Salire. We're going to talk about this when we talk about the events. I think if you're going for either of these units, you absolutely should do these. The Salire one, I think almost everybody should do, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the video. And then we have a continuation of the Carbuncle stuff. Let's move on to the shop and the new stuff. There's a couple things we need to talk about there. The new shop is the Final Fantasy Collaboration Reissue Shop. This is a no-go. It's too much for 5,000 paid Visual for me. This is too much for 2,000 paid. And then there's pretty much nothing else. Death Machine, you can pick up another 25 shards here. You shouldn't have too much trouble maxing out Death Machine with the new like Whimsy shop rules and stuff. And then having a whole month to work on it. And then you can pick up some Warrior of Light shards as well. Version Upgrade Celebration Shop. A couple things in here I do like. You have the free XL XP cubes every single day. Here's those tickets I was talking about. If you're really trying to be economical with paid Visual, this is the best way, the best in quotes, way to get URs. Other than that, let's scroll down here. There's a couple things I really do like. The Dark Gloves magic, if you didn't get this the first time around for Garvel and Salire, this is a fantastic weapon and you don't have time to farm it. I would pick this up. The Smart Coat +5 barrier, either for newer players or people who maybe haven't been as hardcore before. My personal thoughts, I've said this a couple times on the channel, is that the Smart Coat is maybe the best MR piece of gear, the barrier version of the Smart Coat. Overall, it gives you like 21 spirit and also 10 magic attack resistance. To me, one of the best MR pieces of gear. If you don't find time to farm it, this is a great use of 2000 freed Visual. Other than that, not a whole lot I like in here. Moving down, pick up some stuff for Gil if you want to. Moving on to the Mog Shop, Final Fantasy Reissue Event Medals. These are what you get from farming the actual Final Fantasy event, which you have 35 days. The event will be here for 28 days. You have 35 days in the shop. Just like most of these event shops, pick up everything here, top down, grab all this stuff, and then anything else is pretty much a bonus from here on out. The Agitator makes a return, so this is Garvel's quest, like we talked about farming the Dark Gloves, so find some time to do that if you don't already have a pair of those Dark Gloves. Here's the Reissue Summon Medal, so this is what we talked about before, where you have that pity system for Warrior of Light. Remember, if you pull on that Death Machine step up for the Vision card in Esper, you are working towards this as well, so you're not just relying on that Warrior of Light banner if you're going for this. The Reissue Login medals, we got these medals over the last couple of weeks to build this up. It looks like I actually either didn't claim a day or I think I might have missed a day, but this is basically free shards. So for logging into the game over the last couple of weeks, you get a bunch of free shards for Warrior of Light. Hey, that's pretty neat.
How neat is that?
Moving over to the far plane, events this week. Really important to be economical with your energy this week. And what would I be doing with this week? Well, you definitely want to farm this brutal difficulty EX1 and EX2. If you don't have this Armor of Light, it's a pretty good piece of armor for heavy armor wearers to resist magic. If you didn't get Tidus's necklace, which I still think is overall a little bit better than the Armor of Light, then you should get this, but Tidus's necklace I think is better overall. So you don't have to farm this too hard if you got a +5 of that. Now the Sword of Light, whole different story, and I think that is that EX2 or is that EX1? That would be EX2. This Sword of Light, there's so many light slashing units in the game that use swords. Ramza, Warrior of Light. There are just so many light slashers in the game and probably a ton more coming out in the future. Cecil, another unit this is really good for. Everybody should try and get this to a +5. This is priority number 1 this week for free to play. Get a +5 of this sword because it will do you wonders for the future of the game. If you have time, if you're super gung-ho this week, I would even pick up a second +5 of this sword. I think it's that good for light slashing units, and there's just so many light slashing units that the odds that you use multiple of them in certain formations are great enough that I would look at crafting 2 of these if you have the time. The second thing we're doing, and this is priority number 2 this week for all free-to-play, maybe all players, is we're going over to day training, and you're going to see the Gil Chamber has ×2 drops for 1 week It is unlimited with ×2 drops, and in addition, they added the 4th level, which will give us rainbow gill snappers. Everybody should just overheat their phones and their tablets farming gill for free to play over the next week. Every piece of energy, put it into this. That Final Fantasy 1 event will be around a long time. This is, I believe, only around for a week, where you can do unlimited with drops ×2. I would try and farm like a billion gil. I don't know what's actually possible this week, but I'm gonna find out. I think almost every energy that I have this week is going to go into farming this. I'm gonna see how much I can get. The reason we're doing this as free to play is because they have those guild banners now to get shards for units. Shards for units equals Vizor. Gil for Vizor, a great trade-off since Vizor is a premium currency. Gil, not really so much, but it's been pretty hard to come by. You can see I'm pretty short after doing all these Gil banners. Farm as much as you can on this professional Gil chamber. Do it for this next week. That is the #1 piece of advice from this video. The last thing in this video, and this is probably the biggest news here, is if you head over to Story Quest, you go over to Hard Quests, you're going to have Vision Card Hard Quests. We can now get shards for our Vision Cards. This is huge for free to play because now we don't have to push so hard to max out non-limited Vision Cards. Guys, in order of importance, and I'll probably make a video talking more about this, Odin to me would be my first one I would go after if you don't already have that maxed out from when it was in the shops. Fenrir, which is currently in the shops, I would still be grabbing as many shards as you can. That would be priority #2, would be maxing out Fenrir. And then other cards that I like, the Solidus card, which is also in the arena shop, a little harder to get the shards. That's a great card to max out for free to play. And then Titan, those are my top 4 for cards I would look to max out as free to play with shards here if you don't already have them maxed. Other than that, pick out a few cards that maybe you have like level 85, like you've just been pulling shards for a long time, and that you're pretty close to maxing out, because Vision Cards at 99 are so much better than they are at level 85. So just work on maxing out a lot of Vision Cards. We'll do a video talking more about the most valuable cards for free to play people to max out. Anyway, this is a great change to the game for free to play. Don't forget to farm all of your Rainbow Gale Snappers this week, and good luck on your pulls, and we'll catch you guys next time.